All right, what's going on, guys? Shiny Bitcoin's back with another cryptocurrency blockchain update. Today, I'm actually going to explain to you why we believe that Tsuka and Hoshi are created by Shiba founder, by Shiba dev, and the proof is in the pudding. So let me dive into all the evidence. There's a few videos that break this down. There's also many Medium articles that break this down. And there's a lot of connections that even go to Elon Musk, which gets pretty crazy. And this is, if you guys have ever heard of Cicada 3301, it's basically the toughest internet problem that has ever been solved. And it was basically like a hackathon almost, where people had to discover different anomalies on different web pages to basically um, come to these really difficult problems. And it had involved, in decoding the messages inside the different web pages. That's really what the founder of Shiba is doing here. And he did it through a cryptocurrency called Tsuka and called Hoshi. And he basically is revealing himself through the blockchain, through encrypted messages. So this gets really interesting, guys. And just stay tuned. I'm going to share my screen. Smash that like if you guys could, that would be amazing. And also share this video with a friend because this puzzle is pretty intriguing. So this video is called Tsuka, a deep dive into Ryoshi's vision, the guy who created Shiba.
This video documents the story of the Tsuka token. It is not a complete story, but the story so far. And to tell this story, we have to tell a few others first, about the crypto bull run that began rumbling in 2020, and about a little anonymously launched token that had one of the biggest runs in the history of crypto, Shiba. The crypto markets are an odd place, one dominated by narratives, anonymous users, and incredible price volatility. Many thought the collapse of the price of Bitcoin in 2017 meant the end. Instead, by 2020, the industry had grown bigger, more complex, and more valid. Venture capitalists were pouring money into companies trying new things with blockchain that could solve real-world problems with more efficiency, lower costs, and better kept records. These tokens define what's called DeFi, decentralized finance, and DeFi was the dominant narrative from 2020 through late 2021. But if you put the narrative aside, you see that many of these tokens launched with dynamics that are not in favor of an investor. VCs are able to buy tokens ahead of launch for cheap and stand to gain the most financially. The companies themselves often sell tokens to maintain operations, and that's probably being generous. This bull run saw a high of $3 trillion in the total crypto market, and much of that money was abused primarily due to the core mechanics of the token contracts themselves. By early 2021, mass hysteria had set in. Buying was relentless. The masses were here, taking over TikTok and YouTube and timelines everywhere. This time was different, they said. And then in November 2021, Bitcoin hit $69,000 and proceeded to bleed all the way down below 20K, all the way until July 2022. But let's back up. In August 2020, a very simple token contract is launched on the Ethereum network by an anonymous person known as Ryoshi. The token is called Shiba Inu. It's launched with $3,000 in liquidity, which is practically nothing. Some say Vitalik Buterin donated the liquidity to Ryoshi after meeting him in Osaka, Japan. This token had no pre-sales, no insiders, no dev wallets. In many ways, it was pure, in stark contrast to the dominant narrative tokens. So what do we know about Ryoshi? Ryoshi has demonstrated through his actions humbleness and humility. With Shiba, the humble origins created a dedicated community that, over time, grew exponentially. And unlike other tokens that were ripe for abuse, there was no leverage here. Everyone was on equal footing, had equal opportunity to take part. And because of this little 3K liquidity token grew all the way to a $40 billion market cap in October 2021. Whoa. Shiba was community-driven, and during the course of its origins, many community members became team members, folks like Shibarium and Satoshi. Some disagreed with Satoshi's methods, using Shiba as a brand to launch products and tokens that did little to benefit Shiba holders. In now deleted posts from May 30th, Ryoshi himself displayed disappointment. A split was taking place behind the scenes as ideologies waged war. And on May 30th, 2022, Ryoshi deletes all of his posts on Twitter, all of his mediums on Shiba, and changes his profile picture to Milarepa, a master yogi from over 900 years ago. And 4 days prior, an unknown token launches on Ethereum with no tax, no presale, no dev wallets, and about 3K in liquidity called Tsuka. In this section, we will attribute why we believe Ryoshi Research made the Tsuka token, aside from the similarities in methods of launching. Alongside the launch of this token, on-chain messages began being deployed by the Tsuka token deployer. A token deployer is essentially the wallet that created the token, so we know these messages come directly from the developer. These messages, being on blockchain, cannot be altered or modified. The timestamps are permanent. These messages contain alpha and clues that have now foreshadowed several events that came to pass. For simplicity, I am going to identify the key clues linking Tsuka and Ryoshi. Clue number 1. Tsuka is a cipher of Sangyon Haruka, the author of Life of Milarepa. Milarepa was the first enlightened Tibetan Buddhist master, and Ryoshi Research adopted his image on May 30th. Tsuka token launched May 26th. Clue number 2. On May 28th, Ryoshi messaged on-chain 1143. While there are no hard dates on when Milarepa was born or died, 1143 is one of the common years who is believed to have passed. Clue number 3. On the same day, 2 messages in a row used a specific amount of ether, 0.0001144. 1144, 1144, is another year believed to be Milarepa's passing. Clue number 4. On May 29th, the deployer uses 0.0001969 ether. 1969 is the year of the Shiba Koken art exhibition, one Ryoshi himself has referenced with the creation of Shiba coin. Ryoshi and double meanings are synonymous. This art exhibition showcased a piece that Ryoshi used in his infamous I Am Ryoshi medium, which was posted on the exact same day, May 29th, 1 year prior. Clue number 5. None of the above clues were put together until a message on June 11th, which stated, "Sangyon is right if you listen." This was the key he gave us to go back and discover the meaning of the name Tsuka, discover the Milarepa connection, and discover the connection to Ryoshi, all in messages that took place before Ryoshi's profile change. Wild, isn't it? This shows meticulous planning, attention to detail, and makes it difficult to argue this is not Ryoshi. The odds of guessing Ryoshi would signal attention to Milarepa via his Twitter, not once, but several times, are so astronomically low, I can't even calculate them. Then, on May 30th, around the same time Ryoshi deletes all of his mediums on Shiba and every post on Twitter, the deployer spits out another message. I need nothing. I seek nothing. I desire. Good thing about this message is it can't be deleted. In the May 30th message, the developer is using an infamous Milarepa quote. I need nothing. I seek nothing. I desire nothing. Except it's missing the third nothing. The community begins noticing a pattern of words being used incorrectly, odd capitalizations, and syntax. For example, 2 messages contain don't with a space instead of don't. We know these mean something, but what? The details of this next section are best explained in our medium, and we recommend you reading the process and methodology used in cracking an incredibly complex cipher hidden in the messages. This cipher led us to a seed phrase, which gave us access to a huge set of wallets. We're still processing what these wallets mean. The medium on these wallets is linked below. The important takeaway here is that Tsuka is developed by someone of true genius. These are not simple codes and ciphers. The community is still working towards several aspects of this and invites anyone watching to join our research. Ryoshi's name is Ryoshi Research, after all, and this is what he is asking us to do, to work together on these messages. Let's talk about why Milarepa and Sengyon may be important to Ryoshi. Sengyon Haruka was a writer and master of Tibetan Buddhism, his most famous work being Life of Milarepa, which documented a profound Tibetan Siddha named Milarepa. Milarepa's life journey is a story of the utmost redemption. As a young man, Milarepa, in his rage, murders everyone in his village, an act of revenge for being deprived of wealth. Facing immense sorrow at his deeds, he sought Buddhist teachings, and by the time of his death, he had become a fully realized yogi. He had attained enlightenment and carried many Buddhist teachings forward to new audiences. Milarepa is one of the most important figures in Tibetan history, bringing the lessons of India to Tibet and defining Buddhism for centuries to come. When we consider Shiba's humble beginnings and where it went, we can infer that Ryoshi may have ended up somewhere with Shiba he had not intended. We highlighted earlier the known bickering between Ryoshi and the remaining Shiba leadership. Some experts in the Shiba community believe Ryoshi left the project May 30th, 2021, a to-the-date exact full year from his profile picture change on Twitter. Something that may have toiled in his mind is, how do you build something new without destroying the community that made you? And if you do hurt that community, can you still achieve enlightenment? Milarepa did. Milarepa brought the message of Buddhism to Tibet, and it was too important to not be done, even if some would doubt him or his intention. So what is Ryoshi's message? Ryoshi is a decentralization purist. He believes that no one person is more valuable than another, and that when power becomes consolidated, it becomes disingenuous. The Shiba token has become less about decentralization and more about a brand, a launchpad for various products and tokens that don't benefit the community. They dilute the community and put money in the pockets of the Shiba leadership. This was never his dream or goal. The formation of a crypto community can be thought of nothing less than absolute chaos. But through this chaos, beautiful things do happen. It takes immense pressure to forge a gem, cataclysmic forces. Soon, the community leadership looks less like shitcoin shillers and more like a group of anonymous, decentralized researchers, dedicated to piecing together the clues and puzzles in the messages. There were many things that stood out on-chain. A screenshot of $155 million, messages of funding secured, a shout out to certain crypto Twitter influencers, including BitLord, who also claims to have had lunch with Ryoshi around the time of the message. There is a message directed at CZ from Binance stating, "Remember our conversation at the casino in Macau?" Capitalized letters that spell out Ryoshi's dream is, and that's all we have so far. And then finally, the ciphers leading us to a seed phrase. So all this said, you might be wondering, why doesn't Ryoshi make it plain? Why doesn't he simply tweet today that he made Tsuka? In our view, this would destabilize the project and compromise the inherent goal. Ryoshi knows the power of his influence. If his goal is to build a truly decentralized project, he can't let it be owned by those simply buying for his name, Ryoshi Research. This project is meant for the researchers, the diggers. Some of us in crypto are most excited by the clues and their meaning. So, Ryoshi has created an infinite well for us to draw from. Because of this, there is no sell the news event. And if he ever did tweet about Tsuka, every exchange on Earth would be vying for the token and would have to market buy their share. Since mid-June, the total supply has dwindled on Uniswap, hovering between 2 and 4%. Now imagine billions of dollars squeezing into what's left of the supply, and you have the greatest supply shock in the world. With that in mind, yes, we do believe Ryoshi will make it clear. On June 4th, he messaged, "When I show my hand, there will be no questions. I am a fisherman, but do not cast for red herring." He is saying that he will show his hand, and there will be no question it is him. Ryoshi means fisherman in Japanese, and red herring typically implies a distraction. So we take this to mean that everything presented to us is deliberate and every word intentional. Due to the way the contract was launched, the strength of the community, and the belief in who made it, there is little reason to think Tsuka doesn't have a multi-year run into the billions. Shiba hit a 40 billion market cap. What could a project that takes the best lessons from Shi, adds new pillars for strong community building by teaching Buddhist tenets like patience, possibly achieve? We are along for the journey. The journey is the destination.
All right, guys, what do you think about that? That is just an introduction to the strange coincidences that we're seeing with Ryoshi and even with Elon. Wait till I show you some of the other stuff. Hold on. Let me get to it. This gets pretty crazy. I'm looking for some specific posts. Starting to understand the puzzle that's unfolding here. This is the guy I'm looking for, I believe. Now, yesterday was the 555th day of Tsuka's launch, right? Or even today, I'm not sure. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was the 555th day of Tsuka's launch. Now, what does this look like to you if I type in 555? Sorry, 555. Look closely at this. What does 555 actually look like to you? Let me do this one more time. It looks like ducks in a row, doesn't it? 555 actually looks like three ducks in a row if you look at it for a quick second. Now type in Elon Musk, right? Now remember, this is on the 555th day that Tsuka was launched. What did Elon Musk tweet yesterday? Let's find out. Sorry, I gotta get to Elon's profile. First of all, did he delete the tweet? No, it's still here. Let's go back and see. So this is 19 hours ago. Remember, this is on the 555th day that Tsuka is launched. Elon tweets, ducks are only in a row when in motion. My ducks are absolutely not in a row. I don't even know where some of them are. And I'm pretty sure one of them is a pigeon, right? So to me, he's giving little clues here about Tsuka. Now, am I 100% sure? No, but look at 555 one more time. Doesn't that look like three ducks in a row? Could be a stretch, but there's some more evidence here. Don't worry. Let me go back to my profile. I have retweeted some pretty crazy stuff. Here we go. This is the guy. Kevin says people are buying meme coins that Elon isn't involved in instead of the ones that he secretly is. Tsuka and Hoshi. Most people won't believe the evidence is there across 3 long articles, but there will be more. The cryptic connections are meant to be found, as the Tsuka deployer referenced the hardest puzzle on the internet since launch in transaction messages, Cicada 3301. Now let's dig into this a little more. Elon also tweeted, may Starship serve as the beacon of hope for the future. Words by the Tsuka deployer are beacon of hope is one of the unique wordings used in the Tsuka deployer transaction message back in July 24th, 2022. He says, the SHIB developer basically says, please know when you start a revolution there will be static. This is okay. As a member of this movement, there will also be times where you may feel overwhelmed, shaken, or even isolated. This is all phases of a total enlightenment and decentralization. Do not fret, for when we achieve what we have been destined to do, the tables will be turned. The fearful will be often feel overwhelmed. The fearful will often feel overwhelmed and isolated. The signs of this pendulum shift is already apparent. They only know to lash out at the pure, just, and wholesome. This is the last step for them. It is fear. They fear what they do not understand. Continue to fight fear with knowledge, truth, and passion. We are against the grain of many years of status quo. It is the only way to fix this. This is the only way. The dragon is the great, bright beacon of hope for many. You must have unwavering audacity of hope. Now, the dragon is the logo of Tsuka. Also, you have this message from October 25th. The beacon of hope is shining bright. What will you do with your freedom? You are your brother's keeper. Stay gracious and humble. Perpetual blessings, friends. This person says, I read Elon's tweet as a reference to Hoshi's starship. This is now remember, star is also the logo of Hoshi. This is the only time Elon has used the phrase beacon of hope on Twitter, and it's the only time when he used the word beacon on Twitter. Loki also posted beacon of hope on the same day after Elon did in the CoinMarketCap post I mentioned earlier. Please take notice this account is officially community. This is the official community Hoshi Twitter. An update shall take place soon. Rest assured, a bit more clarity will come in time. We are all the great bright beacon of hope. Interesting, right? Now you also have Ryoshi, the creator of Hoshi and the creator of Shib, saying, "Greetings. I'm a nobody. We have passed some tests and failed others. Tsuka instills fear and terror in the hearts and minds of those who question." May 26, 2022, 11:55. And look at Elon Musk, right? Elon says, "Greetings. I'm a nobody. Greetings. I'm Musket. I'm Elon Musket. Nobody. That's my name." So you're getting to the point where, look right under here. Greetings. I'm Musket. Elon Musket. November 28th, 2022. Also with the Buddhist symbol here. And then you also have, in Buddhism, it is the symbol of Vairana, the one that Elon is showing. One of the three major schools of Buddhism. We can tie this back to Ryoshi's profile picture of Malariba, one of the most famous persons in the Tibetan Buddhism. A couple tweets later, we see greetings. I'm Musket, Elon Musket. This alludes to the first Tsuka deployer transaction message and is the only time Elon has ever tweeted the word greetings on Twitter. On September 25th, 2023, Elon tweeted a quote from the Odyssey, "Nobody, that's my name." This tweet caused many in the Tsuka community to really see the Tsuka-Elon connection. Here you go. The Tsuka deployer front ran another tweet by Elon on May 22nd, 2023. What are the chances that all of these three things would line up together on the same date? Dev must be the luckiest person in the world. Let me see. All of this relates to what took place a year later on May 22nd, 2023. This is the Blade Runner stuff that I mentioned before. The Tsuka deployer sent a transaction with the message that relates to a very famous tweet by Hal Finley, who is one of the supposed creators of Bitcoin, that says running Bitcoin. Hal Finley being one of the first persons involved in Bitcoin and widely thought to be Satoshi. But Elon tweeted a quote from the Blade Runner later on in the same day after the Tsuka deployer transaction message. There is a corresponding YouTube video, Tears in Rain, with the length 355 that matches Elon's tweet time, 3:55 p.m. When you watch the video, he begins to say Tears in Rain at 2:27, and there's a TD in the background, which is DT or Dehara Tsuka backwards. You relate blade to katana to its handle Tsuka. Then you can relate Blade Runner to running Tsuka backwards. So this is getting pretty crazy, guys. These tweets came 2 days before Dehara Tsuka was registered and 4 days before Tsuka launched. So Elon says, Elden Ring, experienced in its entirety, is the most beautiful art I have ever seen. And person said, how'd you roll? I was strength slash faith, war priest strong. Elon says power mage, but decent with the sword, katana. Will post a pic of my build tomorrow. These tweets came 2 days before deharasuka.io was registered and 4 days before Suka launched. It's the only time Elon has used the words katana on Twitter, and he's talking about Elden Ring. Last article, I talked about how the first song on the Elden Ring soundtrack, called Elden Ring, is by Sutaka Saito. You can rearrange some letters and get Suka Satoshi, relating Suka to Bitcoin's creator Satoshi Nakamoto. The katana being discussed in Elden Ring is a digital katana. Dehitaru translates to digital. Therefore, digital Suka equals digital katana. That's like I said, guys, this is pretty wild, man. There's a lot of connections here. Why did Elon Musk tweet this image with a dragon at the top? Later on the same day as the Tsuka deployer message saying that the dragon will be the head of the class. And apparently on the same day, Elon's favorite book was first published. And who is this friend? The same one who launched Shiba almost 2 years ago. On July 29th, 2022, the Tsuka deployer sent a transaction message that says, the dragon will be the head of the class. Dead weight has been lifted off of Tsuka's wings. It is only natural Some was not along for the first ride with Shiba. They must have seen what a community is capable of. I have spent the last few days in deep thought. We are always here with you, in the trenches and ready to battle for our freedom. Tsuka will save most of DeFi. That is a fact. The dragon will be the head of the class. July 29th, 2022, 2:55 a.m. And what else do we have here? Elon Musk later tweeted within 24 hours an image with a dragon at the top of the head. Friend made this for me 2 years ago, he says. Dragon will be the head, right? I mean, come on. The Lord of the Rings published date was July 29th, 1954. Same day Ryoshi mentioned this, and the same day Elon tweeted, okay? Here's another questionable one. Why was Elon Musk tweeting the symbol for 3 minutes into a guided Tsuka meditation while the Telegram was also posting at the same time? Interesting. Very interesting. Now, he says, no, this is very real. Cicada 3301, aka the hardest puzzle on the internet, was cryptically referenced since the day after Tsuka was created. I outlined it all here. So he wrote a medium here. Like I said, people are digging on this constantly. In my first article, oh man. In my first article, I outlined the current state of Dehara Tsuka and how the pure tokenomics of Tsuka can better DeFi. I outlined key transactions by the Tsuka deployer address that front ran both Ryoshi's Twitter profile picture and his banner change, showing undoubtedly that he is the developer behind Tsuka. And I showed some very interesting connections between Tsuka and Elon Musk. I recently wrote a Twitter thread expanding on the Elon connections, but I will include and expand on all of that here. It sounds unbelievable at first, but the evidence does show that Elon has a hand in all of this. This article comes because of the revelation, some of the new research findings, and a new token launched by Ryoshi called Hoshi. Much of the research I've presented has been found by a community of researchers, which includes myself. I've included many links and tried to credit people where I could, and I've tried to include many images as the details can be long and tedious. This article is in my own words and describes what I believe based on the evidence presented in these links and images. There is an interesting member of the Tsuka community that goes by Ankagalon on Twitter. Ankagalon is the greatest of all the winged dragons in J.R.R.'s Tolkien's books. Sometimes they tweet things that are cryptic hints for the community of researchers to look into. This is one of them, tweeting out IDGTK UMLOO. Please reference the story of this. Please reference the story of IDGTK UMLOO. This was on 9/25/2023. When we search this on Google, the first result is an article by Alex Hearn about Cicada 3301, the hardest puzzle on the internet. Cicada 3301. I tried the hardest puzzle on the internet and failed spectacularly. The Tsuka deployer sent many messages about Alex Hearn in the first days of the launch. It has always been a strange thing that happened with Tsuka, and it caused buyers at the beginning to think it was created by Alex. The messages ended up causing Alex to write a very negative article about Tsuka. So Alex Hearn says you, Mr. Hearn, for the shakeout. People sell on emotions. You have proven that. Well, the test is passed. We are spreading our wings now. For article, direct contact is recommended. I've been in contact with Mr. Hearn via email. I would never share that content. The very first words after the title of Alex Cicadas 3301 are, no one knows. When we look back, this is really critical, guys. No one knows. The very first words after the title of Alex Cicadas 3301 article are, no one knows. When we look back to May 27, 2022, no one knows was used in a deployer transaction message by Ryoshi. No one knows, but they will soon enough. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Plato. May 27, 2022. This is just the second message the Tsuka deployer ever sent. So we see that Ryoshi was referencing the hardest puzzle on the internet with Tsuka deployer message since the very beginning, even before he changed his Twitter profile picture and banner. This is very important information to know. It can be used to explain the crypticness going on with Tsuka and why it takes a community of researchers to figure out what is exactly going on. There's a great puzzle unfolding, and we're still figuring out where it leads to. This is not the only time Cicada 3301 has been referenced. People following clues to the puzzle have been met with this image of a duck. Now remember, Elon tweeted the duck yesterday, 555, 3 ducks in a row, the 555th day of Tsuka. I think you're starting to see that this is not coincidences. These are well thought out, methodical, practices, plans. Now, this is one of the screens you would get to in Cicada 3301 that you think you solved the puzzle, but it says, there's a hidden encoded message behind this. Just decoys this way, it says. This was the part of the Cicada puzzle. Just decoys this way, it says. I talked about it in my previous article, but on July 22nd, 2023, Hoshi was launched with the 1600 ETH presale. This began a twist in the story of Tsuka, leaving the community confused. A few days later, a message was sent out by Tsuka deployer that spells out decoy vertically. Do not forgive. Shit. Do not forget every move to wring out true community over yourself. Sorry, my dog wanted to come in. Do not forget every move to wring true community over yourself. Stay tuned. July 27, 2023. This decoy message alludes back to this decoy duck in Cicada 3301. The decoy is a fake Hoshi coin created as a test of the community over themselves, rushing to deposit ETH for a coin that they can get early in a presale. The attractiveness of Tsuka is that it had no presale, no special treatment of any certain individuals that get cheap coins. They can just dump on others who were able to get into presale. The community passed the test, and the real Hoshi coin was a fair launch later on. I'll get to that coin in the next section, but the day after this decoy Hoshi was launched, Ryoshi was doing the 2275555 1143 transaction from his wallet that I outlined in my first article, linking him beyond all doubt that he is the creator of Tsuka, an impressive and sneaky move while the community was confused about a decoy. He tricked Alex Hearn and the community at the very beginning, and then tricked the community again, both times referencing Cicada 3301. The second reference is our own fault for not knowing, as we had 14 months to figure out the first one. If we had put in more effort to research, we would have been able to immediately associate decoy with the decoy duck. The pre-sale caused great confusion and personally caused me to think I bought into a scam, but it ended up causing me to put effort into research so I can see things more clearly now. In my first article, I mentioned Rover and Dam, and how it was a front run of Ryoshi's Twitter banner. I assumed it was a waxing crescent moon, but it turns out it's a lunar eclipse. In the story, the great white dragon causes eclipses on the moon. J.R.R. Tolkien. Rover and Dam. Interesting. It also turns out, now that's kind of weird because this is the same bird that Elon looks like he tweeted today. Very strange. It also turns out the moon in Ryoshi's banner is not waxing crescent moon, but a lunar eclipse. Here are some lunar eclipse dates from NASA. May 26th. Interesting. November 19th, May 16th, November 8th, May 5th, October 26th. May 5th, 16th, and 26th are three of the most significant days for Tsuka. If you read my first article, you know why. On May 26th, Tsuka launched, and the first Tsuka deployer transaction was sent. On May 5th, 2021, and May 16th, 2021, Ryoshi transferred most of his funds to different wallet addresses, where they then sat for 574 days until they were used to signal that he created Tsuka in the 227-5555-1143 transactions, the day after he created the decoys Hoshi. On May 5th, 2023, Elon Musk removed the word nothing from his Twitter bio, nothing being the word left out of a Millariba quote in a Tsuka deployer transaction message on May 30th, 2022. This date being the day Ryoshi changed his Twitter PFP to Millariba and his banner to a cloud and the lunar eclipse on a starry night. I'll recap this later, this last point, so everyone is on the same page. Elon had a bio that said nothing for about 28 days, then removed it on the lunar eclipse date back in 2023. Back on May 30th, Ryoshi changed his Twitter banner to a lunar eclipse. That same day, he changed his Twitter PFP to Millariba, then posted a quote from Millariba in a Tsuka deployer message, while leaving out the word nothing from the quote. To make all these cryptic moves over the years in regard to lunar eclipse dates, only for it to not really get put together until now, is pretty wild. And who knows what I might have left out. Back on June 4th, 2022, the Tsuka deployer sent this message in a transaction. A reveal is soon that will shock most. A few hours later, the following two images were shared, suggesting that the dev is in fact Ryoshi. These were shared on the blockchain. So he's tweeting from the Ryoshi account, you know. That's the proof. The proof is in the pudding, right? These two deployer uploads have metadata in them. When we look at it, we see a path for a crypto Allen. Crypto Allen. This does not sound like it's Ryoshi. It looks like someone paid to have these images made. However, when we visit cryptoallen.eth, we find yet another front run of Ryoshi's PFP change. This self-send transaction was sent one day before Ryoshi changed his PFP to Millariba. It was sent at exactly 11:43 a.m. UTC, 1143 being one of the years believed to be that Millariba died. 1143 has also been mentioned before in a well-thought-out Tsuka deployer front run and another transaction by Ryoshi's known wallet address. As of note for cryptoallen.eth is that it was funded on February 18th, 2022 via Binance at exactly 4:43 a.m. UTC or 11:43 a.m. UTC +7. This transaction front-ran Ryoshi's PFP change by over 3 months, showing that the change was thought out well ahead of its time. It seems this metadata was left on purpose. There is also this Crypto Allen Instagram profile. Interesting. This account is possibly unrelated, but we know Ryoshi used to be a link holder, as he outlined in his August 2nd, 2020 Medium. Rule number 1, I, Ryoshi, spend 0 on the project. Why 0? It is not because I am a poor boy. I send all my chain link for $8. I sell all my chain link for $8 to pleb and have fun crypto money to play. It is because I want to know if something can start from 0, from someone with 0. The Instagram has a profile picture with the OKLG background that dates back to January 2020, evidenced by the following pictured tweet and others. OKLG stands for OK, let's go, and is based on a meme in the Chainlink community. We would like to thank Nixo for making this awesome PFP for us. We would really appreciate it. Interesting. OKLG. We can tie the Instagram PFP of Dr. Manhattan to this Elon tweet made on May 28th, 2022, a day before the crypto Allen.eth self-send transaction. Interesting. We know that the crypto Allen.eth transaction was a front run and seemingly meant to be found, but the Instagram profile is uncertain. Maybe it's a past identity of Ryoshi, or maybe it's a random person. Interestingly, it leads back to Elon Musk, as many other Tsuka-related things have. Interesting. How does it lead back to Elon, though? That's my question. To this Elon Musk. Oh, okay. The PFP of this guy leads back to Elon. Very interesting. Potentially. I previously mentioned a TV show called The Next Crypto Gem and how Tsuka might be a contestant on the show. This is actually happening, by the way. This show features contestants touting their projects to judge for the title of the next crypto gem. Well, it turns out Tsuka is on the show, being represented by a couple community members. It currently has a staggered release of 7 episodes, but will eventually reach 400 million plus households in 56 countries across 12 different languages. This will bring widespread attention to a little-known cryptocurrency. We Are Ryoshi is a website and anime series created by the community on the story of Ryoshi. The first episode was released on October 2nd, 2023. The website contains info on how to buy Tsuka with the Uniswap app on your phone. This is helpful to people that become aware of Tsuka for the first time, whether it is from the anime, the next crypto gem, or elsewhere. Your Loki trading dApp alpha build has been completed. You can email tsukatrade@gmail.com if you are interested in testing. A couple days after I published my first article, a new token was launched by Ryoshi called Hoshi. This is the coin I'm buying. Like Tsuka, it has a supply of 1 billion tokens. The token was launched by a different address than the Tsuka deployer, but had connections to it. The Tsuka deployer sent a message to that address in its transaction on October 30th, 2022. Tsuka controls. Boom. So that is the Tsuka Hoshi deployer address. The contract address for the Hoshi token is 0x5362. Whatever. On August 23, 2023, the Hoshi deployer address received ETH from MEXC. Then Hoshi was launched about 25 hours later at 3:49 a.m. UTC. Tsuka was also launched at 3:49 a.m. UTC 445 days earlier. Hoshi is a fair launch coin with no airdrops and gave no special treatment for current Tsuka holders and how long they may have been holding. Due to Hoshi being launched from a different address, it confused me and many others that were unaware of the address, and why it was launched was unclear, but we know it's all cryptic, and the best answers we're going to get about Hoshi and Tsuka is from deployer messages. So here's the deployer message. Friends, I have received many messages on-chain, emails, and private messages voicing your concerns and stating your opinions. This is why my blueprint is important. This is why the corrupt have tried to revert to my ways. Fulfilling a checklist to decentralization is the only way. Few will never stand on the shoulders of many. Shoulder to shoulder, we move in unison. The star will be your governance, which is the Hoshi logo, right? Use its light, fueled by the dragon's flame, to guide your way on the dragon's chain. July 4th, 2023, 1:21 a.m. Ryoshi says, trust in star as it is part of the blueprint. Tsuka deployer, August 24th, 2023. The greatest lover is later the greatest hater. Try not to love nor hate, just experience and do. Hoshi is our guiding star, will shine bright to many. Hoshi, our guiding star, will shine bright to many. It is being considerably without many wise